So yeah, I just want to start off, Ro. I really appreciate you having you coming on and taking the time to speak with me, man. It means a lot. I'm a big fan of what you've done for Canadian basketball and the history, and you're a pioneer in the game. And I just would like to hear some more about what's going on this season at Uchenna Academy. I know it's your first season there, and you got a lot of big plans. I came down to see you at the gym, and I just wanted to hear some more about what the plans are for the season.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I'm very excited about my first season at Uchenna. I haven't taken a year off, and consulting and being out of the prep game. It's exciting to be back in terms of doing what I do best and putting teams together, programs together, and competing for championships and helping kids get scholarships. And I've done a really good job, as I normally do, in putting a good team together in a late notice. I got size, I got depth, I got athleticism, I got really good talent. So I think that we could be able to compete with all the top teams in OSBA and also in the States.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, so can you tell me a little bit about some of the prospects? Because you got a lot of depth, you got some height, you filled it out pretty quickly on short notice. Could you give me some of the prospects that you're looking forward to coaching this season?
Yeah, so I guess the first thing is my first recruit was Jordan Fisher.
Wow.
We have 13-man roster on the national team, and like I said before, my number one recruit is Jordan Fisher. His father was at Uchenna last year, so he wanted his son to be with him. So that was my first recruit in terms of bringing him on board, because obviously he's a phenom like his brother was in terms of being able to play juniors and seniors. You know what I'm saying? And still only the class of 2028.
Incredible.
So he is. Go ahead.
He's huge. Like I saw him at Ball Don't Stop, and he was like, just looked like a man. Like 2028.
Yeah.
And like the way he carries himself, even the size of it.
Yep. Exactly, because people don't realize like he has a 7'1" wingspan.
In the 8th grade.
Yeah, like that's NBA measurables, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so he's gonna be a 5-star. He already has offers already as an 8th grader, and he's gonna be a cornerstone of the program.
For sure, and you had a good relationship with the Fishers, with Elijah, his father Rohan, and now Jordan Fisher. When did that relationship start? Like, I know you played Grassroots with you for a long time, but how did you come across a guy like Elijah Fisher?
Well, what happened is his father knew about me in Grassroots, my AU program, when he was in high school, and he wanted to play for me, so he always knew about Grassroots and me over the years. So when I saw Elijah play at this this club tournament in Scarborough, then I immediately said, "Who's this kid?" And I was watching him. And when you watch kids play, then you see their parents because they're clapping and the players are looking at the parents, so you could kind of match up to see who the parents are.
Yeah.
So when I did that, I saw that it was Rohan Fisher. So then I approached him, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, and quite the history as well. Like you and Elijah have a great history, and now he's at the Fall this year after a stint at Texas Tech. So it's going to be good to see what Jordan can do and see if he can follow in his brother's footsteps.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're to have him every day, to mentor him and develop him and all that stuff, as just like his brother and more, is great opportunity. And then we also have some seniors to help with the maturity and the experience of the program. Just a kid that was at Uchenna last year, Cameron Ramirez, a 6'2" guard. Chika Wakwesi, a 6'10" kid that was another school in the States last year. And a couple of kids from St. Mike's, Enzo Taffel and Clark Muirhead. And then also that was at Uchenna last year, Elijah Fisher, who's a 2026, as well as a 2025 kid named James Kelly, a 6'6" kid. And then I brought a 6'8" kid from New York named Messiah Springer, a talented 6'8" kid that, normally people go down to the States, but I'm bringing them from the States, and that's what we do.
How'd you land that? That's really interesting. I got another podcast coming out about kids going down to the States and how we're losing a lot of our talent. You've managed to keep talent at home, like Elijah Fisher, for example, is the most recent example. But now you have guys like Jordan Fisher, and you got Chica coming back home. You have guys from New York coming back up to Canada. Can you speak on how you've built that kind of relationship to be able to pull kids from the States, like you said, where kids want to go, to come up to Canada and play for you at Uchenna?
Well, basically, having done this for so long, I started prep schools back in 2000, and the model, what kids want. They want to train all the time. They want to travel to the U.S.,
yeah.
And you want to be able to compete while you're here, and you want to have those connections and that ability to be able to help them get exposure. So when I'm able to do what normal prep schools and high schools in the States do, so now the kids are saying this coach is going to help me do what I may get somewhere else, but at least I trust them and I see what he's done, his credibility, and I'm gonna take a chance and go up there, because I've seen other kids from the U.S. come to Canada to be able to get those opportunities, get better, and get scholarships.
100%. And so you got a big schedule ahead of you guys. You said you guys are in the OSBA this year, and you yourself have started another prep league, the Can United, which is extremely interesting. You got a lot of good. You got, I think, 8 teams from Canada, 8 teams from the States.
Yes. Yes, and then you always play American teams, and we have different venues in Pennsylvania and Ohio where all the sessions are at, and one session is at Uchenna. And so you're always I'm going to use all my connections and relationships to bring college coaches to make sure we get that exposure that these kids are looking for, and they're going to get the competition because they're playing U.S. teams. So, it's going to be exciting as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be very exciting. And, having a international league like this, has it been a struggle I know you've been very connected with all kinds of different coaches and different programs, but has it been a struggle kind of getting the groundwork done for an international league like this?
Yeah, because I know so much prep school coaches, and as well as a lot of my proteges and former players and other people I've known for many decades, that is pretty relatively easy to put it together, in terms of all the coaches, the idea of getting all the exposure from that Western New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio area. There's like 20 plus coaches for D1, D2, and junior college in that area. So getting all those coaches to come and watch the games, to live stream it, to do something new and exciting. All the coaches are really excited about that.
For sure. I'm really excited as well. As many other scouts as well are really excited about this league that you got going. So have you got it all filled out with every team now? I saw a lot of Canadian teams have committed and a handful of American ones. Have you filled out?
Yes. Well, the guy that spearheaded it, his name is Melvin Brown. He runs Oakville and Halton, and he's the one that brought me on to run this. We brought a commissioner, a social media guy, and a U.S. director to put it all together. And so having people that know what they do pretty good, we're able to put this league together that starts in October.
That's awesome. And how many sessions are you going to have?
5 sessions, 3 in America, 1 in Toronto, and then the championship back in America.
Okay, that's awesome, man. Sounds like a great league. And what other events do you have on your schedule? I know you got your Jamboree coming up at the end of the month, or close to the end of the month, and then you got OSBA and you got your Canada United League. And what other events are you planning on taking your team down to this year?
We're going to Beach Fall Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're going to Hoopsgiving in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to MPSI in New England.
Oh, nice.
And then we're going to another tournament in Ohio, Northland High School in Ohio. So we're going all over the place to be able to get these guys exposure and the competition right off the bat, to be able to, show kids that we're going to do right by them and get them that exposure and competition they deserve. And the fact that we can get into the gym 3 to 4 times a day, that's going to be very attractive to them in developing them at a very high level, and be on the shooting machine every day, and just getting better all the time. And being a private school academy, we're able to make sure that kids learn and are prepared for college. And that's how the Uchenna started, from the academic level, and then they branched out and added basketball to it.
Okay, and then just a quick question for you is how has it been different coaching at Uchenna? I know it's your first season there, but you said all this access to the gym and kind of like almost like the keys to the gym, they trust you to build a program. How do you know how to build a program? What's the difference between working at Uchenna so far and your tenure at Crestwood?
So I guess Uchenna being an academy, and they're working on American curriculum and timetable, then you take it's on a trimester schedule. So kids get 2 credits every 9 weeks. So by the end of the year, they'll have their 8. So with that said, there's more leeway and more access to the gym during the day. So it's a very good schedule to be able to get in the gym all the time. And then because we have 2 gyms, there's always a gym open. That wasn't, because there's only basketball. There's no other sports but boys basketball. So therefore, there's not a lot of restrictions or limitations or lack of access and those kind of things. And working with Dave McNee, who's the school head of school, it's a black-run school. So being a black man myself, we identify very closely. We probably speak about 10 times a day about everything. And so we have a very close relationship. And there's a lady named Claudia who's the vice principal of the school, and she's a great lady, and she's very academically sound, and she's the administrator of the school. So the chemistry is really, really good. And like I said before, because they're under that U.S. system, the access is really good.
Yeah, that's great. Next question I have for you, Ro, is you have a junior team as well, and I just wanted to know, what do you think the importance of having a pipeline, like a junior program where you can kind of develop the kids through all 4 years or 5 years of high school in-house at Uchenna Academy? How important is it to have a junior team?
Well, it's very important, because you don't want to have to recruit every year. You have to replace 11 kids. Yeah. You want to have a feeder system that you can show kids and develop them under the same system, that when they get to be seniors, they know what it's all about, and they develop from within, and they get better from within, and they're able to buy into the system because they've been in it so long. And so rather than 1 year, one and done, and then get new kids, then you have kids. We have a couple kids in grade 7. We have a few kids in grade 8. So we're able to have them for the long term, and then you go ahead and you have less kids that you have to go recruit all over, because we have kids from all over the world, from Africa, from Serbia, from the Caribbean, from U.S., from all over. So we're able to recruit kids from all over because we're a private school.
And how have you found coaching? Like, you're used to coaching Canadians and Americans for the most part. International kids, has it been a bit of a learning bridge or a learning gap in like coaching these guys? Like a kids from Africa, it must be a lot different than a kid from Canada that's been here. I was just wondering, what's the difference between coaching international kids and coaching homegrown Canadian talent?
Well, basically, as you know, being a homegrown kid that been playing since they're yay high and for years. They understand the pace and they understand the toughness and the fundamentals of the game and all that stuff. They've been training with trainers and all that stuff, as opposed to a kid that never had all that coming from other countries. And so there is a little bit of a learning curve in terms of teaching them the fundamentals of the game and the skill of the game and the pace. But on the flip side, they're hungry.
Yeah.
They're good kids. They're very high character kids. They work hard and they're tall and they're athletic. So you need that as well. So while everybody's fighting over all these kids in Canada, we'll get some of those, but then we have another place where we can get a kids because there's tons of those tall athletic kids, aggressive kids all over the world.
And then you got a team house kind of thing going for the residents at Uchenna?
Yeah. 10 minutes away from the school, we have a team house where international kids or out of province kids will live at, and we have 24-hour security, and the kids get their 3 meals a day, cooked healthy meals, and they're close to home to be able to be in the gym on weekends, late at night, whatever, authorized time.
Awesome. Next question I have for you, Ro. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I got about 2 more questions for you, but give me a couple of guys that need to be on people's radar this year. It doesn't have to be seniors. It could be any kid. I know everybody knows about Jordan Fisher, but I would like to hear about like a couple sleeper prospects that guys don't know about that they should really put on their radar and start recruiting.
Well, we do have definitely some of those. There's a kid named Darius Willis from BC, and he's a very talented kid from Richmond, BC. He averaged 45 points a game last year, and he can really shoot the ball, can handle it. He's a lefty, he's a very good player. So he's a sleeper that he'll make some noise this year. Obviously, last year was his first year at Uchenna, but he's only 26. But Elijah Thomas, who's Trayvon Thomas's younger brother, who's shot up to 6'4", and he has like a 6'8" wingspan. He's very talented, and he's going to be a really good prospect for us this year. And then, like I said before, Messiah Springer from the United States, from New York, 6'8", multi-talented kid. He's going to raise a lot of eyebrows as well. So we have a lot of guys that can do a lot of things. Enzo Tafo from St. Mike's can really shoot the ball at a really 45% clip and stuff like that. So we have some. And then Josiah Casanova, he's a hard-nosed Pat Beverly type defender that he'll cover the other team's best guard. So we have a lot of the different role players and pieces to put it together. So I'm excited about this year's team.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate it, Ro. Last question I have for you, a little bit of a fun one on the way out. If you had to name your all-time starting 5 that you've personally coached, there's been so many talented players from Tristan Thompson, Elijah Fisher, Trey Thompson. The list goes on and on. If you had to put together an all-time starting 5 that was under Ro Russell, who would it be?
For all the guys I've coached, either prep school or AAU, over the decades, my number one player, which I tell people all the time because the things he did against NBA pros and what he's done, Denham Brown is my number one player of all time at this moment. And that can be changed as Elijah does his thing over the years, because he did some great things over the years. Andrew Wiggins, who's was an NBA champ and an All-Star. He'll probably be number 2. I say Tristan Thompson. His motor and his activeness over the decades have been great. It kind of slowed down a little bit, but with age that happens. But in terms of how hard he worked and how he competed, when you tell guys to go hard and to compete and rebound and defend, he was epitome of that. Corey Joseph, who's still in the NBA with Warriors now, Just went to his wedding the other day. He just got married. He's a consummate pro. You'll never hear anything negative about him in the papers, and he'll play till like he's 40 because he's gonna defend. He's gonna take care of the ball. He's gonna hit open shots. He's gonna be coachable, and he's gonna compete. So and then Elijah Fisher. So right off the bat, I know there's some guys that I'm missing, unfortunately, right this second, because I had some talented guys, but it's hard to make a team because you can do like your best shooters ever, then you got to include DeVoe Joseph in that, or Brady Heslop. Then your most athletic guys ever. Then there's certain guys that you include. Then your most talented guys. Then your toughest guys, and then so there's different categories that I'd like to have it rather than your best players, because so many guys out there to name over the years, but those are the quickest guys that come to your mind. Like now that I think of it, like I'm missing like Shaedon Sharp. He would be on that list of the most athletic guys that you've had. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many of them to name.
Incredible, Ro. I really appreciate this, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you've been doing a little bit of phone tag, but it means a lot to speak with you, Ro, especially. I'm a big fan of your game. I always have been, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys at the Jamboree at the end of the month, and good luck with the rest of the season.
All right, no problem. Thanks again. I appreciate being on, and let's go.
100%, Ro.